Wow. Okay. So I know I have been super behind on uploading another video. This year has honestly flown by so fast. I can't believe we're already in June. I'm still stuck back in March for some reason. I have so many videos to go through, but I did want to revisit this particular video. Lynn Peavey, sponsor me. Now, honestly, I did not really think anything would come of it. I figured a couple people in forensics would see it, get some good laughs, and that would be the end of it. But you guys loved it, and I got comments and messages afterwards, and I got this message. Yep, that's the Lynn Peavey Company. They actually invited me out to Lenexa, Kansas to tour their facility because I said, sponsor me, Lynn Peavey. So naturally, I got my happy little butt on a plane, and the next thing I know, I'm meeting up with this guy. That's Doug Peavey. Now, I've known Doug over the past couple of years, mostly through conferences, but conferences are super, super busy, especially in the vendor hall. You shake hands, chat for a few minutes, and you're off to another class, another presentation. I'm running around conferences like crazy. I've never really had the chance to get to know him or really talk about the company that's behind the name that all of us recognize in forensics. So honestly, this trip was a huge treat for me. It was so cool to get an inside look at what it actually is like to run a forensic supply company. One of the biggest surprises for me was finding out that Lynn Peavey Company is still a small business. In my head, I imagined some massive corporation with hundreds of employees, a giant warehouse, some huge R&D department behind secretive locked doors, but that's not what it was. It's a locally run business staffed by local people right there in the Lenexa area in middle America, in what some people would consider a flyover state. And the craziest part of it all, a lot of the stuff we use every single day is still made and packaged by hand. That evidence tape, yep, they still print it by hand, box it by hand. They've got the giant rolls that we recognize and also those pre-cut strips as well, all done by hand. And you can get it in multiple colors, not just red. And that fingerprint powder, the black powder that we use so much of, yep, all of that is actually made by a human being. Now, Doug wouldn't reveal his full recipe. I did try asking. What exactly is black powder?
Without giving out too many secrets,
right.
Carbon black is one.
Okay.
Which is just like an industrial byproduct. Graphite powders,
right.
Titanium dioxide powders, which is the same stuff that's used in toothpaste.
Oh, okay.
Manganese dioxide.
Gotcha.
Roundup nickel or ferrous materials. We make both.
Right.
Fluorescent.
Yeah.
As well as regular powders.
Right.
As well as magnetic.
Yeah.
And all sorts of different powders.
Every company does have their proprietary blend that makes their powder unique, so he obviously would not reveal what is all in his powders. And honestly, seeing the process in person was pretty wild. Then there's the fingerprint brushes. Yep, like everything else there too, also made by hand. And it kind of looks like they're using an old washing machine drum. And now before anyone starts saying, oh, it sounds old school or it's antiquated, the reality of it is it still works. And the brushes are just as good as anything else out there. Honestly, that was kind of the whole theme of this visit. Nothing flashy, nothing overproduced, just hardworking people making reliable tools with techniques that they have been using for years. And these are tools that forensic professionals depend on every single day. And something I thought was really cool was seeing how everybody was super conscientious about DNA cross-contamination, especially during the brush making process. Gloves and masks, sometimes even lab coats, were mandatory depending on the area that they were in, because everybody understood that these tools eventually will be used to process and collect real evidence for real investigations. That attention to detail really stood out to me. But it wasn't all about old school techniques, handcrafted products. They're also bringing in some pretty cool newer technology. One thing that caught my attention was this thing called the Narc Ranger, which actually helps officers identify narcotics in the field without relying on a traditional chemical color test kit.
Is Raman laser technology to help identify unknown powders and pills. As long as the laser can see the product through a clear bag or a bottle, as long as the laser can see the item, it can actually get an analysis on it and try to get an identification.
That was actually pretty cool to see. Now, I've actually never used chemical reaction kits, but if it's anything like the other types of chemical tests, I know it can be messy, sometimes subjective, and inconvenient depending on the environment you're working in. Also, you're exposed to the possible narcotic when you're testing it, which with the rise of fentanyl could be especially dangerous for field personnel.
It's the old traditional method of having to scoop out a portion of it to put into the color test and to mix it. The officer's at some risk of exposure.
Right.
And this actually lets you do it through the bag.
Seeing technology move towards safer and efficient field testing was pretty cool. Another piece of tech was this UV decontamination device. So Lynn Peavey Company is partnering with a company from Montana called Big Sky Decon, Big Sky, right? And basically what these systems are, they're UV decontamination. It's using UVC basically. They're smaller units that are designed for confined spaces like a jail cell, holding area, even the back of a patrol car. Areas that could be contaminated with biological material. And honestly, if you've been working in patrol or CSI or corrections long enough, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the vomit, blood, other bodily fluids. Yeah, all the nasty stuff that kind of lingers in a workspace or a vehicle. And now they also have a larger incident decon box, which should be used for gear, clothing, boots. And you know what that could be good for? Arson and decomp. Have you ever wondered how you're going to get that smell out of your boots?
We'll put them in here, and yes, he was able to. How long did it take for those really horribly smelly boots?
About half hour.
Half hour?
Half hour in the bag.
Okay. I have definitely thrown away many pairs of pants because I just didn't want to deal with that. So the Big Sky Decon system is specifically designed to thoroughly decontaminate the equipment and clothing, especially after those nasty scenes. Now, all in all, this was a fantastic trip. I was pleasantly surprised to see what went on behind the scenes. Standing there, watching all of this happen, honestly gave me a whole new appreciation for the tools that we use every day in this profession. Because behind every roll of tape, every fingerprint card, every brush, every jar of powder, every new piece of technology, there are real people behind the scenes trying to make this job safer, more effective, and just better for investigators like us. It reminds me that forensics is not just about the investigations, but it's also about the people behind the scenes who are making these products and who care deeply about supporting the work that we do. So I want to say a huge thank you to Doug and the team at Lynn Peavey Company for inviting me into your house, into your shop, and showing me what goes on behind the scenes. Thank you so much for your hospitality and just taking the time to indulge me with all of my questions and letting me take a bunch of videos of you doing your day-to-day work. So the next time you pick up a fingerprint brush or use some of that powder, just remember the people who are behind the scenes making the product. And with that, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'm on the road to hit 1,000 subscribers, so let's make this happen, you guys. And as always, I'll see you guys at the next one.